Hey everyone, Stephanie Arnett here. I have had a lot of requests to explain how I time block, how I add it all into my calendar, and how I utilize Calendly in sync with that so that nothing overlaps. And so here with the beginning at Q2, we're going to build out my time block for Q2, Q3, Q4. And yes, I'm not a perfectionist at this. I'm not an expert at this. This is how I operate it for myself. I constantly make tweaks and adjustments throughout. And so please do not copy my way. You're going to have to figure out what works best for you, and do know no time block is perfect, that you will need to adjust everything there. And so what I typically do is I build out a time block, which is an ideal day. And then I put in my purple, my main calendar, which is the one that I utilize for Calendly, so that things can't get double booked. But you're going to see in my time block, I fill the day out completely. And so with that, every now and then, of course, we do have some afternoon appointments. And so what that does is it allows me a little bit of flexibility to adjust those time blocks. The time blocks still stay the same time length. They still stay on the same day. However, they may get drug around. And that's going to be the time block ones here, which are the light green. It is not going to be the purple. Once a purple is set, a purple stays. And so we'll start with general morning routine. So again, this is going to be time block schedule. And so, yes, I just call it wake up and work out. And that is typically going to be 4 a.m., 5:45. So you'll have to bear with me. I haven't typed everything out in a while. And so 4 a.m. to 5:45, I do want this one repeating. This is actually going to be for 7 days a week. I do not adjust my schedule very often on the weekends, as I have found if I do, it makes it hard for me to wake up as well. And so we'll repeat this one daily. 4 a.m. wake up to 5:45 is wake up, workout, and we're going to hit what you did see in here that we did put that it repeats. Well, we're going to say every day. Excuse me. Okay. And so we'll go ahead and hit save. And then it is going to start throwing that, and we'll bounce over here just so you can see. It goes ahead and it starts throwing those on here. And so that's going to be the first one. And so we've got our quick next one. And I'm sorry, I'm looking at another one over here for me. And again, it's going to be a time block schedule. Oh, and do on here, I like emojis. By the way, to get this window to pop up on Windows, you hit the little window key plus a period key, and it'll pop up and give you some of these emojis. And so we'll do devotional. All right, so that's roughly going to be 5:45 to 6 a.m. is the way I've got that one time blocked out. And that is, again, going to be every single morning. And so we'll hit repeat daily. That's it, making sure it's on the correct time block. Done. Then we'll have on here as far as basically prep for day, drive, getting to the office. And so that's roughly going to be at 6 to 6:30. This one is not going to be every single day of the week because I do not go into the office every single day of the week. And so we are going to repeat it whenever we need for every single weekday. So 6 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. is prep for day, basically, and drive time to get there. Oops, I tell you what, my bad. We're going to have to change that one, 6:30 to 7. This one is going to be dress for the day. Now we're going to let me forget clothes. All right, so this one again is not going to be every single day. It is going to repeat every weekday, Monday through Friday. We do need to make sure this is time block calendar. And so hit save there. And so, yes, I absolutely, totally have my morning planned out all the way on these. This one is going to be, my bad. Okay, so with this then, we've got Tom Ferry coaching, starts at 7 a.m. And so we get in here, we put our cute little emoji. I use the laptop emoji. And so with that is it's a different coaching schedule for several different days. And so right now I've got it for 7 a.m. Our last call ends at 11:30. And that does repeat. And we're going to have to choose which day that one repeats on. And that repeats on Mondays, Tuesdays, skipping Wednesdays. It's got a different time schedule, and then Thursdays. And so we've got that on. We want to put this one in purple. The reason we're putting this one in purple is so that it cannot ever be overwritten whenever someone tries to schedule something through Calendly. And so that's 7 a.m. to 11:30. And that's going to be every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. And so what I typically do is go one day at a time, excuse me. And so we'll get to the other days and plug those in. But on Mondays after 11:30, I typically take break/lunch. I do absolutely take an hour to an hour and a half just to refresh myself from coaching side, from having a very productive morning, and then bouncing it over there into personal real estate side. And so this one is going to repeat. This one is going to repeat every weekday. We are going to put this one on time block because, again, this is one that someone could theoretically book an appointment over, and I'm okay with that on there. And so everything there is done, time blocked out, perfect. All right, so then starting at 1 p.m., I check email once per day, just productivity reasons. That being said, my email inbox is handled by a personal assistant and by our team operations manager. And so nothing goes unnoticed, but a lot of things you will find in your inbox can either be moved to spam. They are newsletters, things that can be read at a later time, so they need to come out of your inbox as well. Or it's items that you can check later on in the afternoon and handle those yourself, or it is items that teammates can handle for you. And so this one, I've got 30-minute time blocks for email. I can explain how I handle email on other days. But we're going to walk through each one of these. And so again, these are time block here, which means I could, if I needed to, adjust these for an actual client appointment. This one, it is going to repeat every weekday. And so with this, I have several different companies that I'm a part of. And so we'll put these in here. And so each company gets their own time, as far as I do not have multiple inboxes in one email. I keep everything separate, which helps my mind stay focused on the company that I am fooling with at that point in time. And so this one is going to repeat every weekday as well. It is marked as time blocked. Again, I love my emojis. They make me happy. You can put them in there. If not, doesn't matter. It's your time block. Do whatever you want to do with it. This one, again, repeats every weekday, Monday through Friday. And so that's setting up that time block. And so here is, again, another company that I have something to do with. And so this one is the name of the company, and then I just call it Q&A. I think this is all just food. Nobody's got my plants. Okay, so USL Q&A. this company is only allotted 30 minutes with me to ask questions once a day. Yes, that may seem rude. However, you will find that a lot of questions are repeating questions. You will find a lot of questions can be answered by the teammate if they look for them themselves instead of interrupting you consistently with that. And so USL Q&A is going to be Monday through Friday from 2:30 to 3. Now we're going to bounce down here. And so this one is Hour of Power. Tom will tell us we absolutely will not miss this one. This one you'll find out I leave it actually staying in the purple so that nothing overwrites it. And I'm looking for my cute little emoji, and I do not see my little guy. That's the cat. There's my unicorn. Okay, so we call ourselves the Unicorn Hunters. It's funny. There's a reason for it. It's basically because every buyer out there wants a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, large yard, has to be fenced in, 2-car garage, and they don't want to pay over $300,000 for it. So Unicorn Hunters, because we're out there searching for sometimes the impossible. And so I've got this one on the main, which means this time cannot ever, ever, ever be touched or overwritten. And so Hour of Power every single weekday, Monday through Friday. This one here, you'll notice that there's a closing scheduled on this one. You'll also notice that I added a teammate, 2 teammates to be specific. I added them in here. They're going to attend that closing on my behalf. My Hour of Power never gets adjusted. And so at 4 o'clock, we're going to have client care. And so this one is handling any concerns, personal phone calls, reaching out to them myself just to check in with everything. I time block in 60 minutes a day. And this is if they're sending us referrals. This is whenever I reach out to the referral partner. This one can be adjusted. It still has to happen throughout the day. So do not feel like it can be canceled or overwritten. What happens is if I have an appointment come in, I will absolutely drag this time block somewhere else for that. And so we'll go in with client care. That's from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. And then from 5 to 6 p.m. we have admin. And so again, admin for me personally is going to be on my time block calendar, which means that it can be adjusted if needed. And so I have found giving myself some flexibility in scheduling allows me not to become overwhelmed. I just know that everything has to be done. And so the time blocks, I'll show you in a second how I drag those around. And so admin Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. And so then you're going to notice some white spot on my calendar for me to do whatever I feel like doing at that point in time. However, I do get ready for bed at 8 p.m. My father is in the oil business, rigged down for bed. And so that's just what he has always said. And that is what's stuck in my head now as an adult. And so I usually do have a book, get in PJs, take a shower. All of that is wrapped into or rig down for bed. This one is going to be under my time block as well. This one generally does not get overwritten unless my husband decides to talk me into a date night, which unfortunately for him, most of those end by 8:30 p.m. because I'm just tired because I wake up at 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So this one is going to be every day, 8 to 9 is rig down time. So you can see those plugged in there. And then at 9 p.m. every single time, regardless of what's happening in my life, I am pretty much asleep at 9 p.m. every single night. And so that one gets put in here as well. I'm used to doing this on my iPad, so I cannot find all of my cute emojis, so I may have to come back to this one, but that's okay. I know y'all are seeing it. Where's the bed? Okay, well, it's different colors on my iPad. Oh, that's ugly. Okay, all of those are ugly, so we're going to have to come back to these emojis because I'm not leaving those guys on there. Anyway, from 9:30 we're going to go on here to just 11:30 p.m. to block everything out. Again, I do put this under my time block. Very rarely does that ever get overwritten, but it could. And so we'll throw that in there as daily. So 9 p.m. on is bedtime. And so you'll see that being thrown in there. Again, you do see some white time. That is free time for me if I want to read a book, if I want to go watch a movie, if we want to have family supper, date night, whatever I feel like doing. That's what those times are for. And so my Tuesday pretty much mirrors my Monday. And so there's nothing really that I have to change here, except for on Tuesday nights, we do have family time. And so with the family time side, it's usually going to be a supper. We do Bible study during this time, and then game night. And so this time we typically give ourselves, my goodness, those are ugly, a couple of hours just of family chill time at the house. And so I do add my family in here, by the way. This is going to be weekly on Tuesdays. This one is going to be in my purple, which means that it doesn't get overwritten, that whatever we choose to do on Tuesday nights from 6 to 8 is family time. And so that one does repeat as well every Tuesday. So my Monday's taken care of, my Tuesday's taken care of. Now we're bouncing over here to Wednesdays. So Wednesday mornings adjust slightly because I do have CE and training on Wednesday mornings. And so this one is, we've got coaching here. Again, it's on a purple, which means it cannot under any circumstances ever be overwritten. And it does repeat every Wednesday. And then 8 a.m. We're just going to call it learning. And so it is 8 a.m. to 9:30. Again, this one is every single Wednesday. And so we are going to repeat it. It cannot be rescheduled, overwritten by anything. And so we have it repeating. We have it marked in purple so that it doesn't ever get adjusted. We will hit save there. We make it back to the office. From the office, we start coaching again. And so coaching will start at 10 a.m. and then we end at 11:30. Again, purple does repeat every single Wednesday. And so it's in purple, so it cannot be adjusted. And so we'll go on here. And so everything else is kind of, I leave my time blocks the same so that every single day, whenever my alarm does go off, it notifies me, hey, you've got this coming up. Some people like to do time blocking by day. And so you can Google that as well. Jack Dorsey's probably the most famous guy that does that. He operates Twitter and operates Squarespace or Square. And so he has 2 different companies. And so on one day a week for Twitter in the morning, he handles marketing. Then he goes to Square, he handles marketing at Square in the afternoons. And then another day will be customer care on, let's say, Tuesdays. Tuesday morning, Twitter, customer care. Tuesday afternoons for Square, customer care. He operates 2 full businesses within his 8 to 10 hour workday. And so some of you have other tasks out there, whether that be parenting, whether that be schooling, side hustles, whatever. So it is possible to do that. You're just going to have to find what works best for you. All right, so finishing up on Wednesdays, we've got it plugged in here. My hubby and I go to a date night. Kiddo goes to a church group. And so we're already at a house. We've already got this plan. So we just utilize that for our date night, just for us to be able to chill. So we're going to throw pasta in there because that's my absolute teetotal favorite. It does repeat weekly on Wednesdays as well. And go ahead and mark this as purple so that I do not ever, ever, ever overwrite kids' church or date night with my spouse. And so save, that one's writing all the way through. Thursdays, pretty much same thing. They're going to mirror in. You can see I've already got a purple appointment here, which this one means it cannot be adjusted. And so everything here remains the same. And then Thursday nights, 6 o'clock, we do basically family meal. This one's kind of corny, but we have whoever in the family wants to bring friends over, whatever. Everybody just gets in the kitchen, makes an absolute teetotal mess. By the way, I do not ever step foot inside the kitchen. It's up to them to cook and prepare the meal. And so we'll make sure all the ingredients are there, but it just gives everybody a whole lot of fun. So they bring friends over, they bring distant family relatives, whatever. Excuse me, over. And so that is every Thursday. It doesn't necessarily take 2 hours, but I do block that off, and I do block that off in purple again, because for me, family time is priority time. And so we block that off so that it does not get adjusted. Now on here, we're going to bounce over to Fridays. Let me grab my time block so I know what I'm writing in. All right, so excuse me, Friday mornings do not have any coaching calls in the mornings. It kind of lets me settle in, get caught up. We do have some coaching training on there. And so this one is a mastermind I'm a member of. And so again, it does not get overwritten. That is going to be every single Friday. Sorry, I'm having a difficult time here. That is going to be weekly on Fridays. It's just a 30-minute brainstorming session. And then as well on here, we're going to have what we call the Brick Mastermind as well, which is where a couple of us Tom Ferry coaches have gotten together, and we do free calls for our clients every other Tuesday. And so it just so happens this is the second Tuesday, so we're going to put this on here. With this one, it does repeat, but it repeats on the second Friday. And then we're going to create one again for the fourth Friday. So they're on the second Friday and the fourth Friday. Again, that is purple. It does not adjust, does not ever change, cannot be overwritten. And so that one is for Brick Mastermind. You can see on here, everything else is kind of left open for Friday mornings. And that is flex time for me to be able to catch up on anything that I may need. If I need to do anything specific, working on taxes, whatever, I leave that time slot open for all of those. And so we're going to bounce over here. All of that's done. Friday nights, I don't have anything planned as well after 5, 6 p.m. And so now we'll bounce over to Sundays. And so, sorry, on Saturday, not Sunday. And so in here, this is my time for me to be able to do what I need to do with one of the other things. Work on, excuse me. And so on the content one, that one is whenever I'm coming up with content for blogs going out, articles going out, book being written, whatever that may be. We'll come up with content there. That one also, whenever I have social media content ideas, I save them all. And so that way, whenever I schedule out content, it is there. I'm not having to think about it, guess anything there. And so this one is going to be at 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And you can see here, it is going to be in purple because that is time that I cannot give up. That is time that I do have to utilize effectively and efficiently. And so that is every single week on Saturdays. And so it's on my main one, which means it's purple, which means it cannot be overwritten. And so this one is going to be a time block here. And it's going to be more for review. And so that's going to be reports, finances, etc. there. And so with the reviewing, I do go into the office for quiet time, put on a headset, and I say, okay, this is my quiet time for this company for me to focus on here, make sure everything is running smoothly. I have found, even though I'm looking at it a week behind, is I can catch if something needs an adjustment on it. And so I'm not going months and months and months without reviewing and adjusting. And so this one is going to be a time block, which does mean that someone theoretically could write over this one for a client appointment. Again, that does not mean that the appointment does not happen. It just means it does not happen at the scheduled time that I have it. And so same thing here, multiple businesses. And so I have to review the same reports for another business. And so I give myself an hour each. It can be overwritten, so it is going to be Steph's time block there. And so we plug that guy in. And then here is general admin. And so general admin means items get put on my desk throughout the week. I generally do not pay attention to them. Simply because it distracts and it takes me away from my time block. And so I sit down on Saturdays for an hour to 2 hours, and I will go through all of the paperwork that was there, any of the invoices that came in to confirm those. Again, time block because it can be overwritten by someone. It does repeat weekly on Saturdays. And so hit save here. The rest of my Saturdays are left open, and that is for anything, everything I feel like doing. By the way, I generally will take a nap on Saturday afternoons from 2 to 4, just for the heck of it. And so that is my Saturdays. We are going to bounce over here to this Sunday as well, because I do go ahead and plan out the Sunday side. And so Sundays, we've got church time on here. And so that is Sunday school. That is going to what I call big church, just because I'm from the South. And so we'll do that one. That one does repeat every Sunday. So church every Sunday, 8 a.m. to 11. We generally will do lunch here. This one is not going to be a time block one. This one is a time block, sorry, not a purple, not a set in stone. But we do generally go out to eat after church with family, church members, whatever there. And so that, now I will be honest with you, there are no appointments whatsoever on Sundays. You can't even have access to my Sunday calendars. That is 100% my day only. And so all of that, we'll block it out on here so that there's no chance whatsoever for anyone to have access to me, to appointments, anything here. We leave it purple. Oh, sorry. And we do say no just because that's funny for me, and the girls at work laugh at it. All right, so that is 12 to 8. Again, nothing whatsoever can ever be booked over this one. The reason the lunch is, and it does repeat every Sunday, the reason the lunch is in here as green is we don't always go to lunch. So that's just an estimated time block there. And so that walks you through my time block for an entire week. And so this one actually runs through, you can see now it is plugged into all of the extra months, which is great. I do not adjust it that often. I will look at it every quarter just to review off on it. And so with this, you can see there's free time built in here. And so a lot of you are saying, well, if you have it time blocked out so heavily, how in the world, if someone wants to schedule an appointment on Friday at 1 p.m., do you do that? Easy. I'll come in here. We'll say appointment, and we'll say that it's going to last an hour. And so we'll go ahead and hit save there. And so that turns that purple, which means nothing else can be overwritten there. Well, then I look at my green and I say, okay, those need to be adjusted. They do not get forgotten. And so I will drag them down, and I will say this event only because I only want to touch today's, and I will drag it down. And that is how I mix in with my appointments there. And so there are a few things like the hour of power I do not ever adjust. Family time, I do not ever adjust. Coaching time, I do not ever adjust. Saturdays, oops, I so forgot. I was looking, I've got a whole lot of open time. Saturdays, we do family movie time. Or, well, movie night. We generally go to the movies just because I like the popcorn and I like to sit there and relax on that. But we've got movie night from 7 to 9. That is probably the only time that I ever stay out past my quote unquote bedtime. And that one is a main as well. And so that one cannot ever be overwritten. That does not mean we're not flexible if we want to go out of town, if we want to go eat out supper somewhere instead of doing a movie, but that does save that time for me. And so that is how I move appointments. That is how I leave some time space in here. Hopefully this helps you guys. If you have any questions, just feel free to find me on social media. It is Steph Arnett MS for Mississippi. It is on all social media platforms. You may also email me sarnett@yourcoach.com. Hope this helps. Thanks.